Good afternoon, Cedarfield family. Thank you for joining us for this live chat here on May 19th at 3 o'clock. Those of you that are here at the community, thank you so much for tuning in on a rainy day here. And those of you that are listening tonight, we appreciate you taking time out of your schedule and or your family time to hear some news about Cedarfield. First, I just want to, again, and I've said this a few times over the last 12 weeks, but it is a special honor for me to lead Cedarfield through this pandemic, a moment in our history that demonstrates now to everyone really watching a commitment from the residents, a commitment from team members, all the way through the families, from the Pinnacle Living office to Leading Age Virginia, certainly from the Department of Health all the way through the National Guard. I am reminded of a commitment that we said 12 weeks ago, where it was our main goal to be transparent and to keep information confidential. I do want to touch upon something in terms of transparency. And it has to do, to start off with a little glimpse into the Shaw household, 9621. What we've been doing over the last 12 weeks. I'm quite sure you all are familiar with J.K. Rowling. She is the author of Harry Potter. We have been watching more Harry Potter than over the last 12 weeks than probably anything else on TV. J.K. Rowling has stated that she enjoyed writing books. In particularly, she has always documented that she loves writing. She loved writing about Professor Dumbledore. This is Professor Dumbledore off to the left, those of you that aren't familiar with the book or the movie, because he is the center of goodness. He knows everything about the Harry Potter universe. Professor Dumbledore is a very wise man who knows that Harry, here's Harry Potter off to the right, Harry's going to have to learn a few hard lessons to prepare him for what is to come in his life. He also knows that Harry, in order to help him as a student, has to let him stumble and fall. But I remember one of the quotes from the movie Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. And the quote goes like this from Professor Dumbledore. He says, "Truth building is based on our choices, Harry, that show what we truly are far more than our abilities." I'll just say that one more time. Truth building is based on our choices, Harry, that show what we truly are far more than our abilities. The truth is that all of us, children, young adults, middle-aged folks, and certainly people 65 years of age and better, recognize that, in my opinion, that we are part of a process of aging and self-development, and we inherently start by having good intentions and good outcomes. And the general disposition that we want, I believe, is goodness for ourselves and goodness for all of us, all those around us. I believe these last 12 weeks are another tribute to the pursuit of truth and trust, and a really deep understanding of the power of truth and trust that having continued to shape ourselves and our community. Continuing care retirement communities, in my opinion, are places for grand learning, diversity, and inclusion, and certainly Cedarfield is no different. They are grand because they follow a general principle of free thought, truth, and trust seeking. If we live long enough in life, I believe that obviously we go through three different stages. We go through childhood, we go through adulthood, and then we go through elderhood. Not for one moment am I saying that I know everything, but my adulthood has taught me a couple of things, namely four. Nothing is more important than your faith. Nothing will change if we don't ask for it. Nothing will change if we don't change anything. And then lastly, nothing will change if we are not honest with ourselves. All the research-based theories that elderhood is also based on is truth. An elder's work, their work is specific to a legacy. And in its research base that elders who are really trying to define their legacy really go through a trust-seeking process to understand what their life was all about. And so more importantly, so that people can remember their life for generations to come. Most modern philosophers will tell you that there is no such thing as a universal truth. Truth is in the eye of the beholder, so to speak, which is to say that truth is a relative thing, which is considered truth according to one individual might be entirely divergent to the understanding of truth for another person. But both perspectives says that the individual can be equally valid at once. Conversely, what may be true for one is by no means necessarily true for another. In fact, many people in this day and age can apparently hold multiple contradictory truths and not be distressed at the least by their absurdities. You can just tune into the news tonight and find all those contradictory truths. I believe that God is always here, He is present, and He is absolute good. I believe that we create our life experiences in the way that we think, in the way that we interact with people, that ultimately leads to knowing that our principles are not enough. We must live truth every day. And finally, just one more thing about truth and trust. I believe that it's not found in political power or military might, but rather a vulnerable trust. Truth and trust, is not a intellectual concept, but rather a lived experience, which is expressed and revealed to the hearts of those who have faith, to those that care about themselves, and those that care about one another. And so, as I and we approach this Cedarfield Forward Phase 1 plan, what I have learned most in these last 2 weeks is truth and trust is going to get us. Hold on a minute. Can you flip that back?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Truth and trust is going to help us move forward. First of all, I just want to thank the residents. There have been 92, that's right, 92 different emails, texts, or phone calls over the last few days about a particular topic that's embedded within our Cedarfield Forward Phase 1 plan, which has to do with traveling outside of Cedarfield. So there's one thing that I did learn. There is a common theme, Eddie, that I learned over the last few days. That everyone is united around this one specific theme, and it has to do with what Yoda had said at one point. Touch that with a 10-foot pole, I will not. So many people have said, Michael, I want to touch this topic, or I want to have your job with a 10-foot pole. I did find another little cartoon about it. Eddie, if you can zoom in on that. those of you that can see that cartoon, the man is holding a 10-foot pole on the porch, and his wife is over there on the steps. He says, "No, dear, doing social distancing since 1992 just makes you a curmudgeon, not a visionary." And there's a little sign on the fence that says, "Warning, home secured by a 10-foot pole." So I have learned, certainly through these last day or two, that people wouldn't have my job for a 10-foot pole. But as I said at the top of the hour, I really love my job. I loved it for the last 23 years. And even in this post-COVID-19 world, working with an awesome team here at Cedarfield on behalf of just an incredible resident group, it's just an honor for me to be here. We do need to accept risk. We really need to move on in these next phases for maintaining social and behavioral controls before the liberation of this vaccine. We really need to realize that it may never really happen. We may never find a vaccine for this, nor may it be 100% effective. So we must be willing to accept risks of living. And the other most notable thing that I took away over the last couple of days is that really no plan that we could create could possibly protect people. Nor is it really even as far as Cedarfield's responsibility to protect every person on this campus in a way that shelters them from COVID-19. That's probably not a reality. So what might be more of a reality is a case-by-case basis, that we are making exceptions to rules, that we don't believe that one size fits all, because that just, if we did have one size, it just wouldn't work for the entire campus, knowing that we have 500 people that live here and 300 people that work here. And every trip that we might take off the campus does not necessarily mean that we have to, as traders or quarantine. We have team members that live in multiple counties, not just in Maricopa County. So, lessons learned. What are the main things that I learned through these 92 emails, texts, and phone calls? What did I learn from working in concert with the Pinnacle Living Office? We just got off another conference call at 1 o'clock. It was supposed to be 30 minutes and it went 62 minutes. There's just a lot of opinion. The diversity of thought is alive and well at Cedarfield about this phase 1 rollout here that we hope to distribute tomorrow. So what did I learn over the last 48 hours? First thing I learned, the screening instrument at the gatehouse is outdated. And I agree. The questions on that screening tool that we've been asking for probably the last 6 weeks or so, it's an outdated instrument. And we have intentions tonight, yours truly is going to take a stab at a more contemporary instrument that really more complies with phase 1 of our reality that will hopefully start tomorrow. So the gatehouse will have a new protocol, a new screening instrument with probably 7 or 8 different questions to guide whether or not somebody should be allowed back on campus, or trigger Ann Hopper or I to receive information so that we can do something about that information. So that's the first thing I learned. Second thing I learned through those 92 emails and texts or phone calls, and we're working with the team, was that our shared values that we've been talking about for the last week is not reflective of the total picture that we should all be wrapping ourselves around. So we added 3 more shared values. we added a shared value around seeking guidance. We should all be learning from one another, especially those of you that live in independent living, seeking guidance from the administration department, Ann Hopper, Gloria Shepherd, and before we go on to some trip or travel, maybe ask for some guidance around what are the parameters about where we're going. I learned about that we really need to have a shared value called inform. That if you happen to be exposed in a prolonged period of time to somebody that has COVID, you should probably come forth, and not probably, you really need to come forth and let one of us know so that we can put precautionary measures around the individual. So we're going to enhance our shared values. Our mission statement is keeping everyone safe, and now we're going to have probably 9 or 10 different shared values around this Cedar Field Forward plan, so that everybody is on the same page about what our goals are, what's our values as a community through these next 3 phases, which will take us pretty much into the next 9 to 12 months. The third thing I learned was that this mission statement, has anybody ever written a mission statement at a church, or have you all written a personal mission statement? Ann, have you written? Dr. Shearer, have you written a mission statement? Yeah. Florence is back. Florence, have you written a mission statement? She has. Florence is just. Eddie, have you ever written a mission statement? You have? Have all of you written a mission statement? And shared it with maybe your church congregation? Maybe it was more of a personal assignment. One of the things I've learned is that this mission statement that we have created around Cedar Field Forward and these now 10 shared values, we need to go on a fun campaign to educate everyone about this mission statement and these shared values, so that everybody is on the same page. And you could intelligently tell your neighbor, a family member, a loved one about what is our goal moving into these 3 phases. And so you can share that with people so they know what the expectation is. Like maybe when you go to visit somebody and you're keeping your mask on, even though you're in your daughter's house, and your daughter says to you, oh, honey, you can take that thing off now. And you can intelligently say to your daughter, no, this is one of Cedar Field's shared values, that we wear our masks all the time. So anyway, we're going to go on a fun educational campaign about our Cedar Field Forward mission and our shared values. And then the last thing that I learned over the last 48 hours has to do with this question about traveling. It seems common sense that we all agree that just limiting our travel to Henrico County is just an impracticality. It's just not, it doesn't make sense. We have all these surrounding counties that touch us. God knows where the borders of these counties are. We're traveling around, and it just doesn't make sense that we limit residents restricted to Henrico County. The staff, there's 6 of us sitting in this fellowship hall right now, and there's 4 of us that live in different counties right now. So why is it okay for us to tell residents they can't leave the county, but yet there's 6 of us in this fellowship hall that actually live in 4 different counties? And so we're going to open that up and not leave that as a restriction. And so the question becomes, where are we allowed to travel to? What is the quarantine radius? What's the definition of quarantining? And how long will that particular quarantine last? So many of us talked about it today at 1 o'clock, and this is what we came up with. Not only a phone call at 1 o'clock, but lots of conversation over the last few days, not to mention 92 phone calls, texts, or emails, and sage advice from Carol Marco and Eldon Rucker about the topic as well. So here's what we've come up with, which is in our 14 days. You don't all have to take notes. Don't take notes on what I'm about to say. All of what I'm about to just say is in the Cedarfield Forward Phase 1 plan that we will print off and distribute tomorrow. But this 14-day quarantine is a small piece, but I guess a very large topic that is of interest to many. So that's why I just want to highlight it here for a couple of minutes. So if a resident goes to the hospital, whether you just visit the ER department or you are an inpatient, when you come back to Cedarfield, that is an example of a 14-day quarantine. Another example of a 14-day quarantine is if you happen to have COVID-19 and you're positive, you need to quarantine for 14 days. If you have a prolonged exposure to somebody, and if anybody wants more of that definition, you can stop by the administration office or contact me. But if you have a prolonged exposure, so let's say you do go visit your daughter, and you're in front of her less than 5 feet, and you don't have her mask on, and she doesn't have her mask on, and you are hanging out with her all night long, 4 days later she tells you that she had COVID-19, guess what? You were in a prolonged exposure, and you would be required, based on CDC recommendations and the Department of Health, to go under a 14-day quarantine. The other piece, this is probably the biggest piece of why somebody should go under quarantine, and not just residents, but yours truly or any team member. It's called contact tracing. So I have a personal example to share with you. A family member of mine in Pennsylvania went to a restaurant a couple of nights ago, and when they got to the hostess stand, they wrote down their name, their address, their telephone number, before they went in to have a meal in the outdoor setting. 2 days later, they got a call that said, just want you to know, one of our waitresses is COVID-19 positive. She wasn't on shift when you were in the restaurant. We just want you to know that. And so they were only able to make that phone call because of contact tracing. They set up a system to notify their patrons of who might have been around that particular exposure. And so if you or any team member in the Richmond area that comes across a contact trace, whether it's through your church, your synagogue, a restaurant, your beautician, your barber, you might be asked to quarantine because you were contact traced through different sources, and you, through that tracing, might have been exposed to COVID-19. I hope that makes sense. Does that make sense to you all? Okay. If anybody has any questions about that, please feel free to call the administration office. And then the other thing has to do with traveling. 14-day quarantine because of traveling. For the last 12 weeks, we have said, if you leave Henrico County, you're under quarantine. So that doesn't make sense anymore, right? We have doctors. Some of your doctors are down south of the river. Some folks have doctors in Ashland, Goochland, and we should be able to go to these different walks of life that we tap into to live our life. And so we're going to ease the restriction of just Henrico County. We're going to include through this first phase that people are allowed to travel to Henrico County, Goochland, Chesterfield, Richmond, Hanover, and within the Commonwealth of Virginia. What we are going to ask people, if you travel outside of the state, if you travel outside of the United States, if you travel by airplane, train, bus, taxi, or if you're traveling to a known hotspot, like right now is Northern Virginia. I understand the governor has opened the beaches of Virginia. If any of the beaches become a hotspot and you travel to one of those hotspots, then you should go under a 14-day quarantine. So that's going to be our new 14-day quarantine protocol. I hope everybody is happy with it. It's happy to be happy with it. We try to take the collective thought and wisdom of the group to come up with this new protocol. So, and I start off the beginning of this live stream with a song about trust. In the opening here, I talked about a quote from Harry Potter about trust. I truly believe that moving into these next 3 phases, there is a high level correlation between truth and trust and our ability as a community to come together. How many times have we said this? We are all in this together. Truth and trust of all coming together to do the right thing around our mission statement, around our practicing and living out our shared values, and then raising your hand when something doesn't seem right so that you're protecting yourself and then protecting everyone else around you. And I promise to be the first to adhere to all of it. If I get the sniffles or if I start coughing, I will call Renee and say, you know what? Or I won't call Ann Hopper. I'm going to call Renee. Actually, Ann Hopper, this is what I do. Ann Hopper 8 weeks ago said, Mike, will you testing your oxygen saturation? And I said, well, God, I'm not doing that yet, Ann. And so every day, I take my own temperature. My wife was about to kill me. I take my temperature at home probably 5 times a day. I put that little cup on my finger, God knows how many times a day, walking around the house, just taking my oxygen saturation levels. So I promise, if I feel any different, that I'm going to stay home to protect myself, protect my kids, my wife, and protect all of you. And I say that because it's all a matter of trust. I have learned moving into these next 3 phases, it's a big matter of trust. We are all in this together. I have a sneaky suspicion that the 90% who have been complying with all these rules all along are going to continue to comply with the new standards. I have a sneaky suspicion that the 10% who are the rebel rousers, who've never followed rules throughout their entire life, we're going to have to help along, just as we have helped along in the last 12 weeks. That's just life. There's not one rebel rouser in this fellowship hall right now. So, we're going to go through this phase together. I didn't say excited, I am optimistic. I am really excited, I guess, to really head into this next phase. I am honored with the amount of work that has been placed into this phase. Both the residents, the team members, families have emailed me, the corporate office, the Pinnacle Living office has weighed in on the decisions, some decisions. Vendors have rendered an opinion. This phase, this first phase, Cedarfield Forward, is a very collaborative effort. So we have a strong mission statement. We have now 10 shared values, and we're going to publish this tomorrow and move into this first phase and open things up. We're not having a grand opening party. Got a couple other emails today about when is the grand opening party tomorrow. There is no grand opening party tomorrow. We're going to move, ease, gradually into our first days. Okay, next up is Ann Hopper and Dr. Shear, navigating COVID-19.
Thank you very much. Hello. Good to see everyone. Hey, Dr. Shear. Hi, Ann. What do you got for us today?
We always have some good questions. All right, so let's get started. Once someone is positive, COVID-19 positive, how long can they be positive and how long can they infect others?
So I think there's a misconception with the 14-day quarantine that the virus lasts for 14 days. The 14 days is for someone to show symptoms, so then we know to test them. But the virus itself has a varying degree of how long someone's sick for. So you may know people that have been in the hospital for 45 days. They talked about that, people leaving after 45 days from New York. So it can vary. There are other patients that are infected for 3 days and start to recover and are discharged back home. They don't exactly have a time period yet. I have a feeling we will know next year what the inoculation stage and the infection stage and all of those stages become. There are reports of people being infectious for 45 days, but there's also 72 hours. So it's a very variable thing. It has to do with the amount of symptoms that you have, how long you have those symptoms, and how many days you recover from. CDC has guidelines of all of that.
Okay. I've noticed my neighbor not doing well. Maybe they're not coming out of their apartment or cottage. What can I do for her or him?
Well, that's a good question. I like that, very outwardly focused. So there's a couple of things that you could do for your neighbor. Now is the time that our neighbors are kind of our eyes and ears here. Because you're not having those regularly scheduled office visits and touches in that way, it is a good idea to be checking on your neighbors. And if you notice that they've had, some decline or weight loss, I think that it's important that we work on trying to turn that around. Some of the ways to do that would be to try and make it a social activity, so maybe even having FaceTime dinner together in different apartments. That would be good. I think even, and I want to say that maybe you could help with that, some of that, I think.
Right, we have an iPad that we can help initiate.
So somebody, because it tends to be the same residents that have difficulty with that technology aspect tend to be our highest risk residents as well. So if you know somebody that's having some difficulty, that has shown that they've maybe lost some weight or they just don't look themselves, to try and get that set up to have, a prolonged visit or, you can lay eyes on them and encourage them. I think that's a good thing.
Good. Here's one. What does quarantine mean?
So quarantine here at Cedarfield means, one, you get a nice sign on your door. and then we say, you don't leave your apartment or your cottage for those 14 days. That means that they, I think Cedarfield takes care of the trash for you. They take care of all your meals are delivered. Anything that you need to go out for, they deliver for you. You get your
their key so we can deliver the mail, and then the trash is picked up. So you really are in your apartment or cottage. for
Right,
14
which
days.
means, no walks or, prolonged outings outside, which is kind of what most of us crave right now, so yeah, we don't want, to promote spreads, so that would be, we want you to stay in your cottage or apartment if you were quarantined.
We need some clarification on a question from last week. When do you recommend getting this vaccine for COVID-19 when it is available?
Okay, so there's none out right now, but if it were to come out, I think I said there's some difficulty, trying with the vaccine. I wouldn't want to be, the first one in line to get the first test, but I would encourage everyone to get the vaccine when it is available. I'm not saying not to get the vaccine. I do believe in vaccines. I think we should all get vaccines. I would just maybe, not be one of the first week or first 2 or 3 weeks, and maybe wait a month and then go out and get it.
Right. But not 6 months.
But not 6 months, not a year, you want it to be on board,
Right.
so you can feel safer.
Okay. Now that Virginia is starting to open up, are you going to malls? And if you are going somewhere, how are you protecting yourself?
So I do not go to malls. I don't think I will be going to malls for quite some time. When I do go into places in the future, I think, I wear my mask. I'm going to try and keep 6 feet apart from people, because although I know I'm being safe and I'm, practicing, social distancing, I also know not everyone out there is. And just because we can do something, so just because we can go somewhere, doesn't mean that we should. I think that, this is a different risk category than the general public, and I think we should treat it, with that respect.
Okay. There have been some reports recently the virus is not as deadly as we thought it is. Is that true?
Well, over 50% of the deaths from COVID here in Virginia happen in long-term care communities, or are from long-term care. So, if there are reports out there that it's less deadly, it's not for us.
Okay.
So I would think that those may be even false reports.
So maybe higher.
Yeah,
Oh, I mean,
like just
that they're not.
misinformation out there,
Okay.
conspiracy.
That it's not as deadly.
Yeah, I saw something even today saying, again, you hear very commonly, oh, the flu's more deadly. COVID is 20 times more deadly than the flu.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So this goes from what you were just talking about. Do you consider our independent living portion of Cedarfield part of a long-term care facility?
Yes, yeah. Any community that has 65 and up, whether it be independent living, assisted living, or nursing home, is considered part of a long-term care community. So that is where 50% of the deaths from COVID are coming from. Some states it's even higher, and that rate and that percentage may change. That was just on the last webinar I heard, which I think was last week. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. That's all we have. No questions? We're good?
No question.
All right. Thank you.
See you next week.
Thank you, Dr. Sherry. Thank you, Ian Hopper, as always coming prepared with great questions, giving the pulse of the families, team members, and Cedarfield. The next section is for families that are watching tonight, our supply shuttle program. For tomorrow are for residents that live in the cottages. So if you have a loved one that lives in the cottage, a friend, you want to drop off a brown bag for them of supplies and goodies, feel free to do that between 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock at Gaskins and Mayland, right behind the hotels in that parking ride. Grocery shopping will continue tomorrow. Ed, can you zoom in on this? Tomorrow, grocery shopping is for residents that live in the main building here on the 3rd floor and those residents that live in health services, particularly probably those in assisted living. If you have a need, please call this number, 474-8895, by tonight at 8 o'clock, so that they're prepared to go shopping early in the morning and beat the traffic. And we will, do you have any emails, texts, questions? We'll wait for a couple of questions to come in. While we're doing that, just a note that the team is working hard on Memorial Day. As David had talked about yesterday, we will have a normal menu that we will present. People can call into the call centers on Monday and receive a normal meal that would be delivered in your cottage or your apartment. The offering here in the courtyard is just an added option for folks if they want to get outside and enjoy the event that David and team are putting together, our first socially distant outdoor event. There's a lot of detail to be involved in planning this event, and so it'll be a good first practice for us. Doesn't look like there's any questions coming in. If there are any lingering questions, we'll certainly get back to you before the end of the day. Next up is Florence Brooks. It's great to have Florence back.
Thank you, Michael. It's good to be back. Hello, Cedarfield. I hope you're all well on this marvelous May afternoon. I just have a few things I want to share with you, a few announcements. Tomorrow afternoon, immediately following the live stream's at 3, and then at 4 o'clock, we have a service of remembrance that will be live streamed. So we invite you to stay close by the channel 971, and at 4 o'clock, we'll be live streaming that from the fellowship hall. It'll be an opportunity for us to remember those residents who passed between January 1 and the end of April of this year. The second thing I want to, also, if you would like the order of service for that, including the list of the residents who are being remembered, we have copies of that in our office. Just stop by tomorrow when you come to get your mail and pick up a copy, and we'll be glad to have it. We'll have a stack of copies there. You can have one. We'll put them outside our office and try to do that for you. The second thing is, next, so many of you have shared how much you enjoyed on Tuesday mornings the sing-along, and next Tuesday we'll roll out the new edition, which will be the Patriotic Sing-Along, and that will be available for you on Tuesday mornings of the month of June. If you received the program for it for the last month, then you will automatically receive the program for the next one. But if you didn't and you would like to receive a program, just call our office, and when that program is ready, we'll get that to you. So you'll have all the lyrics to the songs and can enjoy singing along. So many fun patriotic tunes. What a fun time to sing. And then I want to offer you just some thoughts today. I want to encourage you as we continue to move through through these days of COVID and these phases, I want to encourage you to be gentle with yourself, to be aware of your neighbors, to be willing to see the world in new ways, to be generous with expressions of gratitude and appreciation. For this kind of giving is one of the greatest stress reducers and calming acts that we can perform. Will you pray with me? Holy One, help us see beauty, discover opportunity, experience goodness, offer kindness, receive compassion. Help us be alive today and be thankful for the gift that it is. Amen. We have some good news we want to share with you today. So we're zooming in on this beautiful graduate. This is Ella Irvin. Ella Irvin is the granddaughter of Patty Irvin and the daughter of Stacy and Joe Irvin. She graduated May 18th at 8:20 a.m. from Fauquier High School in Warrenton. Ella's going to be attending Wake Forest University in North Carolina this fall and majoring in biology. Give a shout out for Ella. Woo! How wonderful we're celebrating all these very fine graduates. They are your legacy. Thank you so much.